obviously with bouquets, I think generally the rule is now that people don't really want something that's too fussy. They like a hand-tied bouquet, nothing cascading, nothing draping, you know, it's quite simple. And there's no real rule to what people want nowadays in a bouquet. I think we're finding less people are wanting just white roses. It's a little bit boring. You know, people want something a bit different and something a bit more natural and something that looks more like just a nice bouquet really, that highlights the colours they've got for the table flowers maybe. So we've got a bit of a selection here of what I would say is quite common for the bridal bouquets that we've done sort of this year. Roses are always really popular, so whatever colour they are, normally more blusher tones for weddings. So we've got some of these. These are sweet avalanche roses, which are like a dusky pink, very popular for weddings. So we'll use some of those.
Okay.
Hydrangeas are also very popular for weddings.
Love hydrangeas.
Especially this is a Colombian hydrangea, and they tend to be a bit more creamy.
Okay.
I mean, they're not great for, say, if you want them to last a huge amount of time, but for wedding, one day. So we do use those quite a lot, as opposed to the very white ones you get.
And do they fly them directly in from Colombia?
They come straight in from Colombia, so we'll use some of those. And then we've also got some stock, which is the pink right here. And they come in loads of different colours as well.
Yeah.
And they're quite good because they're quite a firm flower really.
Yeah.
And you know, they're quite delicate. They've got a smell as well, which is quite nice.
Okay. Oh yeah, they do actually.
Yeah, quite strong. It's quite nice to have fragrance in your bridal bouquet.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what the bouquets were for originally, to give a nice smell when the bride, you know, I think that's where the tradition came from really. Obviously in the olden days everyone was probably a little bit whiffy, I don't know. Normally I take one flower that you kind of want to be the centre, which is quite a nice one.
Okay.
So probably a rose.
Yeah.
And then you're going to try and work from that basically.
Okay.
So, all we're trying to do with the bouquet is keep quite a nice shape to it obviously.
Yeah.
And also you want to angle each flower in a spiral sort of shape, because then they will stay together well. And it gives it a nice dome on the top. If we're going to go for something a bit more looser, it probably needs to be not too high up really.
Yeah. So would you say like a hand's width from the top?
I mean, obviously the bouquet when you're holding it wants to be about that sort of long, so I'll probably just say sort of, about that sort of height.
Okay, cool.
And then what you want to do is just slowly build it up with stems. So I'm just going to put some foliage there first.
And so you always put them at an angle?
Basically, yeah. So that one, although it's crossed over this side of the flower, is starting to... And it's hard to tell at first. It'll take a few pieces before you... A few flowers, sorry. Before you start to realise that it is kind of spiralling.
Okay.
So... And then, next thing we need to do is tie that.
Take twine.
Yeah. Difficult thing, you've obviously got to tie it well. So if you hold the string and then just wrap it round.
Okay.
I normally put it down actually when I tie it. Oh, spin this thing. You know, sometimes you cut certain flowers on an angle, it can make them a bit sharp. You don't want to catch on the dresses.
Okay.
Obviously, some weddings we will cover the whole stems in ribbon anyway, because people don't want to see any of the stems. I think with this sort of style, it's quite nice to see the stems.
It's nicer, yeah.
Yeah. So I would probably once you cut them, just do them quite straight.
Okay.
And then, well then. Another thing you can then do, you should be able to with a bouquet, actually stand it up, and it should stay up. You know, like when you give it a tap, it should hold.
That's nice.
Should hold, if it's spiraled quite well.
Oh god.
Now there's two ways of doing this. Sometimes people would rather just have something neater with pins.
Yeah.
I do think when it's a bit more of a looser style bouquet, to keep it
bow,
like a bow is much better. Yeah.
Like a loose bow.
A loose bow, yeah. And then even having quite a long train of the, you know, of the ribbon's quite nice.
Do you do a double knot just before the bow so that it stays nice and, or do you just go straight for the bow?
I just go straight for the bow,
okay.
Yeah. Normally the ribbon's quite good and it holds quite well. And then maybe I don't do too big a bow itself, but just have quite a trailing ribbon.
Okay. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, so
amazing.
Well done.
Thank you.